course, we show an example of importing that in whatever module you'll need. So super, super easy setup, I think. Let me know if that's not what you found. Oh, cool thing. Let's go to boo-ba-doo, boo-ba-doo. So if we go under common features in our docs side nav and we hit up forms, this is where you're going to find the guideline. And I'll just put that in here for you. If you want to bookmark it, feel free. It's yours. Did that work? That did work. Well, at least it says that it's sent to all panelists. But again, if you're not seeing it, you should probably let me know. So I need to boog. That's what my mom says. Boog shug. Let's boog shug. We need to get moving so that we can get all of our that's really strange noise. It sounds like there's a car in my living room. So we can get all of our demos in today. But this is the forms guide that I was talking about. And something that I love is, this is actually the form. I modified it a bit, but on anything, either in our forms guide, our docs, we have lots of examples. I love the little edit on StackBlitz. I actually know the gentleman who wrote and are writing StackBlitz, and really, really cool blogs. So I really love that we are using that now. I think you have to do panelists and attendees. Yeah, let me see, because, okay. Are you getting this? Tell me if you see that. Yes. Hot dog on a stick. I wish we would have figured that out earlier. Thanks, Josh. You're the only reason that they can see the links so far. But I am apparently now sending it to the right channels. So
no worries. I'll make sure you get this stuff.
Wow. It's okay. This is sparkling water. But if I seem derpy, it's because of just one of those weeks, y'all. One of those weeks. Okay. Without a further ado, I love that we're using StackBlitz on all our demos. You can go ahead and open this up, fork it yourself. The link that I shared and then Josh properly reshared is my modified version. So it's got a little bit going on. Okay, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Okay, so first, Carl, Nathan, yay. Thank you all. Seriously, if you're in the chat or like you're watching this and you're not saying things in the chat, that makes me sad faced. Okay, so I'm going to do something to get you all a talking. We're going to do a little mini challenge. So here again is mini challenge. Here again is this link, and you should actually get it this time. So here's the mini challenge. Open that up and tell me. We're actually going. Sorry, I'm opening the wrong thing. I'm like, where are my styles? I'm in the module. Why would there be styles? The first person who can tell me why this isn't working gets an Amazon gift card. Yeah. Background color. And some of you might already know where I'm going. So just shout it out in the chat. And not even the first person, maybe like the first two people. So like, don't even be discouraged. Background color pink. Let's also say like width of 1000 pixels. Let's get crazy with it. Give it a border. Why isn't this working? Why do we not see it? If I save, go. Well, you're probably like, because you haven't saved derp. 20 pixels, solid green, because that's what every border should look like. Save, nothing. If I refresh over here, nothing. I'll give you a hint. The answer is on screen. Why isn't it working? My host styles. First of all, have you all ever used host? Because I use it every day of my life. Literally. Host is for styling the root component that you're inside of, because generally, because of view encapsulation, you don't have access to that root component because you're already inside of it, right? Like, so you can normally add styles. Wow, I did not think it'd be this hard. Nobody? Nothing? I'll give you a couple of minutes because like it's on screen. Amazon gift card, yours to win. I've saved it, so you should be able to play around with it. But yeah, first person to tell me why our host styles aren't appearing. Yeah. And I'll give you the answer. I'm not gonna be mean, but I really thought that more of you would get this. I believe in you all. So yes. Nobody? Nothing? Amazon gift card? Just take a wild guess. Like tell me anything. I'm very surprised. I thought this would be like an instant. But I do spend most of my life in the CSS files. I do. .host instead of :host. Brandon, thank you for saying something, literally anything, because it's like hello, is anybody there? So Brandon, I will make sure that you get a prize just for chiming in. It is not because of that. I'm actually going to show you, but I appreciate you so flipping much for saying something because this is my first introduction to Angular. Oh, hey, welcome. I hope it's a good one. I just want you to know, Brandon, that I love Angular, and that's a lot of pressure to put on like my love of Angular to pass to you. So hopefully you love it too. I'm going to go ahead and go to angular.io where you can find the docs. No, I'm not. I don't know if our search has improved. So I'm just going to be like this Angular, and then I'm going to go into our docs. Don't judge me. Technically, Google and Angular, same like family company. So me using Google searches like I'm using Angular docs search. Okay, here we go. So I'm checking. Nobody said anything else. Nobody said anything. I am amazed. Here's our host. It is a special selector. Use the host pseudo class selector to target styles in the element that hosts the component. So whenever you create components, I'm going to go over here to our StackBlitz and like make the font 1,000 times larger. Can I? Yeah, that's going to have to be. I know it's crowded, but we'll survive. So whenever you create a component, which this is what this is, at component, it kind of creates this root element. So if I open, I'm curious if I'll open their console. Yeah, that's what I thought. We're going to do the thing that I always tell myself. I say, Alyssa, stop opening the dev tools. Stop opening the dev tools whenever you're in StackBlitz, because it's just so much is already on the screen. But I do it every time, so it's just I break my own rules. Okay, so if we go and look, boop, 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 which there is a bunch of StackBlitz. Not nonsense. Just there's a bunch of StackBlitz happening here as well. So whenever I inspect our app, it'll be a little bit cleaner. But boop, boop. If I go ahead and let's find our form. So here is our K- form. And then if we go up to my app, you'll see that you won't be able to find the styles anywhere. And so if we go ahead and close this out, that's because we have view encapsulation disabled. So if you'll see down here below our styles, I have encapsulation : view encapsulation none. And so Angular is a very special way of how they do view encapsulation. And by default, it is turned on. So if I just get rid of this line completely, we should get a lot of weird styles happening. So view encapsulation is a way of, oh man, I feel a lot of pressure now, Brandon, because it is your first time, but I want you to love it as much as I love it. So I'm going to do my best. View encapsulation is the way that Angular adds different things into like the DOM as far as like markers for elements. There's a lot more that goes into it, but it essentially is like a way of saying these styles right here. I could literally say like, input and then style the input to do something really funky and really special. And normally in a normal Angular app, without touching view encapsulation, just letting it do its thing, that input, those styles are only going to apply to this component, right? For me personally, being the CSS lover that I am, CSS, it is cascading, right? Cascading style sheets. And I've always been taught that you are conscious of the styles throughout your application and the hierarchy of them, and you kind of use that power of the cascade. Whereas I feel like view encapsulation it just like clips off cascade completely. Like it is a non-issue. And so a lot of people in Angular love this fact. They love being able to write styles for their components that don't go anywhere outside of that component. But they did give you a way of disabling that if you ever need that cascade back. And so throughout my demos, a lot of times you will see view encapsulation, none, right? And this host element, the marker for that host element, it's not there because I've turned off Angular's view encapsulation. So if you want to do something with the host element or you need your view encapsulation back, you can simply and easily remove this configuration line here. But yes, thanks for chiming in, Brandon. I'm going to, Carl, can you privately message Brandon and get some info from him? So make sure he gets a prize from us because he spoke out. He spoke out. Okay. Alrighty. Hopefully you're all are hanging in there, and we are going to now go and jump into the form. I'm going to put the chat over here so that I can see all of you beautiful people. And we're going to go and pull this up. Okay. Alrighty, so here in the form, you kind of already got an introduction to it based on my gibbering that we just went over. But essentially, we have my app with a template that we're pointing to. You can put your template in line. I don't like to put our template or our styles in line. So shout out in the chat, are you an all-in-one component person, or do you like separate files for HTML and CSS? I always love asking this question. Recently when we had John Papa separate. Thanks, Nathan. Me too. Separate files. See, there's a lot of separate files out there. Alyssa, separate. John Papa got on my stream and look, Vivi and Van, separate file love. Thank you for that. It would depend, Josh. Yeah. So John Papa, surely you know him. He's probably one of the most famous people in the Angular community, I think. And he, maybe Misko Hevry hasn't beat. Anyways, he recently came on to the DevReach stream, and his modification of that Tour of Heroes app that I asked you to clone down, which originally was his application, was that he took all of my Sass, deleted it, took all my styles, put them back in the components, took all my markup, put them back into the TS file, the component TS file. And I was like, oh, thank you for that. Like it's just the way he works, and he very highly recommends that way of doing things. And I see the value as far as if your markup gets too long, it probably needs to be broken into multiple components. If your styles get too big, maybe you have too much duplication going on. Maybe you need to reduce those. And so it's an easy way of like staying conscious of those things. But for me, just not getting this, like the highlighting and the syntax styles, like that drives me crazy, first of all. And secondly, like I said, I spend most of my time in CSS and Sass and like doing custom things. And so not having my own space to do that makes me feel a little claustrophobic. But yes, so if we scroll on down, you can see, let's open up our HTML actually. And I once heard it said that if you can see 24 lines of code, then that's the right size. That seems, if it just feels really zoomed in, I'm going to make sure both of these are open, and then I'm going to collapse that. And then maybe we'll be happy. Let me know. I can bump it up again if this is too tiny, because 24 would be like even more than that. We're going to stick to this. But yeah, let me know. So here's our markup. And if we have a form element with a kform class, and then a form group, which is pointing to form. And then we have different Kendo form fields, different chunks that are wrapping things like the full name, the email, the phone number. And the reason for that, it would depend for me. Text size is looking good. Oh, thanks, Josh. Good. So the reason for those form groups, other than staying organized, because this label belongs to this input, it's also because this form error belongs to this input, and styling for those, where those form errors appear. And especially whenever you have a responsive layout, it can be important to group those together with form fields. So if we go down, we have, you saw the binding to form. This is set up in our constructor here, and this is where, sorry, the wrapping is throwing me off. This is where we're setting things like full name and email with validators. And we also have a submit form and a clear form method. So let's go back over to here. And the first thing about this form that drove me bonkers. This is literally how I teach. I just like go and I look at the things that drive me crazy, and then I teach how to not do that. Like was whenever I was filling out the form. So let's go ahead and show off some of that. Alyssa, and then if I click an email, but then I click away, this is the error that I was talking about with those form errors. It's right here. That email is required, and that is being triggered because we're looking for this ng-if of, form controls email errors dot required. So we're looking for the required error to be thrown. We also, with those validators, really cool thing with actually text masking on this masked text box. I don't know why that word masked is really hard to say. So we're actually plugging in a phone number mask here. So you can see that we're like 918, this, and that. But as you know, phone numbers around the world vary wildly. And so the mask is actually, if we go down here and look at this phone number mask that we have plugged in, and we can change this to, like, let's say we wanted to do like dashes between everything. And I was actually working with UK numbers recently, and they're like I think they're like 13 numbers or something. I was like, oh, so many numbers. So if you modify this mask, you'll see over here that like our parentheses were taken out, and we still have, like, we have this dot, and we should only be allowed to put like 4 numbers after the dot because of what we're specifying here. Our docs go into a lot more detail about this, but I have to mention the mask because I think it's so freaking cool. Okay, I'm undoing because I want my old mask back. Any questions, feel free to shout them out. I'm going to keep moving on. So yes, the thing that was driving me crazy is whenever I would enter the number of nights for my stay, I would be like, hey, I want to stay for 4 nights. And then it would be like 4.00. And my first thought was like, maybe you want to stay for half a day. And so you want to allow for decimals. But then I got to number of guests, and I was like 7 guests, and it does the decimals as well. And I was like, you definitely can't have half a person. At least in my heart, you cannot have half a person. So my first thing was, hey, how do we change this? How do we make sure we don't get decimals? Because that's obviously the default. And so when we go over to our markup, and we're going to find our number of nights. Sometimes when I'm looking at this much text and it's this big, I get lost. So give me a second. Phone number is above it. And then we have the arrival date, and then we have the number of nights. Perfect. Okay. So we can actually add the format attribute and give it in. Just in. Thank you very much. Now, if I say number of nights 3, it's still doing it. Of course I did it wrong. Oh, I put it on the label. You've got to actually put the formatting where the formatting belongs, don't you think? I don't know what this accent is. Okay. So now if we go and do number of nights, it stays a number. It doesn't do a decimal. Or if we use the toggle buttons, it should stay. I need to go ahead and do it for the number of guests as well on that numeric. On that numeric text box. So I want to pull up our docs and talk about formatting just real quick. And we're going to have a break very soon, I promise. But now, as you go through and you modify using either the stepper or you type it in, those numbers stay numbers and not decimals. Something really cool with our formatting, though, is like, let's say you want to specify the number of decimals allowed. And this is in our number of guests. So if we go here, it will go to 1 decimal for N1, or you can say N5, and it should go to 5 decimal places. And so this is just part, like a blip of the formatting like that's available to our inputs. And I've spent so many hours of my life building out forms, and just the ability to just have this formatting built in and to be able to utilize it. I know it's simple, but it's all of these super simple features like piled on top of each other that stay up to date with the latest Angular, like that make it so incredibly valuable. But even things like min and max, right? Like we see so many times whenever we're booking rooms that you have to have a minimum number of nights. And so I've actually already set the minimum number of nights to 2, but we could say minimum number of nights 3. And then inside of our Kendo form error, say minimum of 3 nights required, save that. And then if you try to do anything like first of all, the first time you press on this increase value button, it pops into the minimum. Beautiful, right? Like just use cases like that. So easy. But if I try to manually type in a different thing, it'll the error will pop up. The label will turn red and the error message will appear on screen, letting the user know what's going on. So I love that. Another thing I want to talk about. Oh yeah, let's talk about. I'm going to pull this over to this window so that you can see it. Let's talk about, I think you can see it. Holler back if you can't. But this is where you can find a little bit more information about formatting. And our docs link to this, of course. But things like, you might be like, why N? I don't understand N. Or if we go down, I think you can see, let me go to N2. You can see examples where it lists out not only the N specifier, but N2 different values and how it adds decimals and things like that. But like I said, there's things beyond that, like C for currency, or down here we've got, what is A for? Same as C specifier, A specifier uses currency accounting format. So there's a lot of different formatting options built in, ready to go. And I just flipping love it. I was super impressed by it. And yeah, I don't know if you've been through the pain of building out forms and keeping up with those things and making sure those error messages and hints happen. But it's invaluable. So yes, I wanted to. So we talked about errors showing. Let's go to. I think I'm going to skip that. But yes, feel free to shout out in the chat if you have any questions about forms or any form component that we have. I want to show a hint real quick because we have lots of errors. But if we go down to our form field for the number of guests, oftentimes you have additional information. Boop. And we're going to shift tab that over, tab that under, save that. So now we've added a form hint, and it says maximum of 5 guests. Babies under 2 are not included in your number of guests. So things to help clarify while people are filling out forms. But yeah, so that's form errors, form hints. Let's go over to our styles real quick, something I wanted to show. Again, with giving Bootstrap the boot, one of my earlier dev jobs was joining a team that had Bootstrap, but they had so many custom items. I mean, like one of the custom builds I did was custom color pickers, because they were a fabric printing company, and none of the existing color pickers or color picker APIs out there would work for the color formats they needed. And so I actually got to build that sucker from scratch. A lot of people are groaning right now. I had a freaking fantastic time. The biggest problem was Bootstrap doing that, because I would write my custom styles, make my component, add it to the project, and solo, running separately, it would look how it needed to look. It would function how it needed to function. But when I put it inside of our project, I love you, Bootstrap, but it had its grubby little paws. Bootstrap oftentimes is notorious for using way too many important tags, so over specificity, and then also being way generic with their styles and their class names. And so the simplest of things will be overridden. And so this is something that whenever I joined the team, I was crazy surprised to find wasn't the case for our library, because if I wanted to, for instance, this form field here with our I agree with terms of conditions, with our checkbox, and with our text. I'm like, what? Why can't I think of the name? The label for the checkbox. It kind of drives me crazy that they're on top of each other. I don't like that default. I get that that's a default for like every other thing on the form, but that specifically I didn't like. So I would actually, the way that I would do this on any project is I would inspect this, and I would find out what class this wrapper is using. I not necessarily a class, but I would try to find a good way of identifying this. And so I see here that we've got the class of K form fill checkbox wrap. And so my first gut reaction would be to go ahead and call out that class, do it correctly though, and just throw a display flex on there. That'd be my first try, and it works instantly. I know it looks super easy, and you might be at home like, yeah, it works. What? But this kind of thing can be so painful to do to other libraries. And I can't say it enough how well we play with not only your custom styles, but with other things that you might be using, because we are conscious about our specificity. So yeah, so it's inline now and it looks gorgeous. So let's see if I have anything else to talk about with this form demo. I don't think so. I mean, at one point I wanted to show you this. I love doing these hacky things. You're welcome. Where I go and the formatting is all jacked with that, but I go and I create things like this all the time so that I can actually see, like, what am I getting from this? And I think it's because it's inside of that. Hold. I grabbed the wrong thing. There we go. Kendo form error. I usually, let's put it under, let's do it under guests. So I love doing this kind of thing where you can log out like the form errors that you're seeing or what you're actually seeing for the entire application. And so if I go to number of nights now and I type 1, I think I'm doing this wrong. 1 second. ngconf form controls number of nights errors. Yep. And then I'm saying that, and we want to parse the JSON. You always have to ask yourself, did I save today? Did I save today? Anywho, this is a super hacky thing that I like to do, but I just wanted to show you that you can actually just look for the errors that we're throwing, because maybe you want to throw an error message for required, but maybe you want to throw it for like the min or the max. And so, because I think right here, it's forms.controls.number of guest errors, and it's looking for the max error. And let's see, is it going to pop up? Is it? It might not be. One sec. Number of nights. Oh yeah, it's because I'm on the guests and none of you caught it. Do you need to put it outside of the Kendo form field? Yeah, so the reason is because I'm actually in the wrong form field. Because I'm looking for a number of nights error, and it would never pop up because I'm editing the number of guests. So herkadurka. Go back up to this. Let's do it here. Let's do it inside of here. And let's bring it over and check if it shows up now. Yay! I know it's super ugly, but what we're getting out of this is min error, right? So we're getting a minimum error is not being met. And so you know that if you want to go ahead and write a specific message for minimum 3 nights required, you need to look for that min error that's being thrown. But there's even things like the required error is being thrown here. So I digress. I want to stop that and go over here. We're actually going to take a 10-minute break because you've earned it. Okay, so I'm actually going to go back to my favorite place, my safe place. Whoops. You got to love it when you close the last tab and then you lose everything. Okay. Sorry. I did not realize that would close the screen share. Sharing the screen. It's super easy to do if you can find the button. Okay. So we're going to go to my favorite place, which is the grid on development branch, but develop was a little slow earlier. So we're going to take off the develop and enter our docs. The next thing I want to talk about is our theme builder, which let me actually make sure I have the chat up. Curious how many of you in your jobs, I know, Brandon, you said you were new to Angular. How many of you in your jobs, is it your job or part of your job at least to create a theme, to work on a brand, to like make sure that components are consistent with your brand and theme? Shout out in the chat. I want to hear how many of you actually like that encompasses what you do, because for me, that's always been my area. Me, yeah. Jane said it's definitely in their wheelhouse. So let me go down. If you go on the left hand side of our docs to all of those awesome umbrellas that you install and you get the different components, go down below those to styles and themes. And let's check out the theme builder. So this is a great place to, like, first of all, talk about, I'm going to make it like a little bit smaller, but as I mentioned earlier, we have the 3 different themes, our default theme, the Bootstrap theme, and the material theme. So like the idea behind the Bootstrap theme or the material theme is that if you're already using those things in your projects and then you use Kendo UI components, they match, right? Like, so, but of course, if you are using your own custom things and you want to just use our default one, I think that might be our most popular. I'll have to find out from Carl. I am curious which ones are most popular, but anywho, so this is where under styling and themes in our docs, where you can find, and I'm actually just going to be like, hey, here you go, world, where you can find out more about the themes, about customizing them, installing them, things like that. But if we go down to the link that I really wanted to get out, which was the theme builder link, Carl said that material design is pretty popular, but our default theme wins because it's the default. Preach it. Here is our theme builder docs. It's not the actual application. You click on that link and scroll down to actually go into the theme builder application, which we shall do. Okay. Oh, I love it. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I have another challenge. And it's going to happen. I know you all are very quiet. I know it's either late or early, wherever you are. But this will make this the big challenge, right? Like the one that we really want you to participate in. I've got a couple other little ones, but and I don't know what prize we want to give away, Carl, like t-shirts or gift cards or what have you. But you might want to pay attention as I use our theme builder and then I import a theme of my choosing, because the challenge is going to be doing that exactly yourself. And if you have not cloned that repo, now would be the time to clone that repo. And you're like, hey, what repo? I just joined. What are you talking about? I will copy that link. GitHub. There you go. So yes, pull that down. npm install. ng-serve. Get it going. Okay. So start theming. You can import if you've already have a customized theme and you want to continue customizing it. You can use the theme builder to import, but we are going to start from scratch. Default's totally fine, but you can obviously choose the base of either of those. And then here's the fun part. As you scroll, you will see a very long list because we have 70 plus components. You can use this button here to select or deselect all of them. Just for kicks and giggles, we're going to go with all of them. But as I said in the introduction, you want to be conscious of what you need and what you don't need. Don't import our whole library if you're just using our inputs, right? So same thing with the theme builder. You can customize it to, I don't need autocomplete. I don't need the combo box. I need all of them. I don't need all of them. And so you just scroll down and say create. And this is going to take you into the heart of the theme builder, which is amazing. Again, post your questions. Carl is standing by. And I think, yes, so the first link that you have, the latest link that I've sent is the tour of heroes that you need to clone down. The one above that is the theme builder if you want to follow along and practice using our theme builder. So here you have literally all of the variables with color pickers that you can customize yourself or input like a hex. But we also have color swatches, which is really, 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 really cool. Because these are, obviously, contrast should be like one of your most important things. If people can't read it, they can't do it. They can't see it. They can't action item it, right? So it's really great. I love that we have these default, what do you call them? Default swatches, I guess. Default themes that you can throw on that will use these swatches to color the theme, and then you can customize it from there as well. I don't know why I'm not getting anything. Let's go with just buttons. Yeah. And let's see if they can appear. And then I want to do powder blue because I love how it looks. I might have to hard refresh. I don't know. Well, I'm not seeing anything. Here we go. Hard refresh. I earlier had like really strange, what do you call it? Chrome issues. It was my Chrome was crashing and I was like, is this me or is this you, Chrome? So I don't know. Holler back if anybody, we should see what we're not seeing is the preview. Let's try something else. Let's try on the right-hand side, whenever we select things, we should see a preview for those elements. I do believe. Let's go ahead and say download, test. Interesting. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. I could try Safari. Okay, so Josh says that he is seeing it change colors, and Jane is saying it's working for them as well. Let me think of what I could do. Definitely not that. Working on my side as well, using Chrome too. Idea. Let us quit the Chromes. I don't really know what else to try. I could try Safari. I'm not a huge fan of Safari. I mean, it's okay. All right, we're going to quit Chrome. Reopen Chrome. Technical issues are the best. Okay. I didn't do my ceremonial sacrifice to the demigods before I jumped on here. So really, this is on me. Josh is using Chrome too. Vivi says it works and it could be a cache. Luca, me too, works for me. Well, thank goodness. Thank goodness it's just me. I promise that if you're like just following along and you're not pulling it up yourself, I promise the theme builder is beautiful. And it works. It's I don't know. I could have cached something weird. I am testing it out on my side to see if I can get it working. What is my Dickens? Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We are going to, since most of you are seeing it working for you, I do apologize if you are one of the people who are watching this stream after the event. Sorry about that. Because you'll just need to pull up the link yourself and try it out, because I have no idea what's going on. But I'm going to go ahead and show using it in your application. So what I'm going to do is pick powder blue. And what usually happens is the components that you have selected will be over here underneath theme preview. And I might have some weird cache issue going on. I have no idea. Earlier, the development branch was being funky for our docs. So maybe it's something I did. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Anywho, so after you've selected, maybe a base swatch that you want to do, and then you've customized it, you can download it. And so that's what we're going to do. And then I named mine powder blue. So I'm going to name this one powder blue 2 to not conflict in my downloads. And I think at this point, I actually need to share my whole screen. The whole thing. Just desktop, I think. Yeah, that should be happy. And we'll turn our off notifications. Okay, cool. So now it will download, as you can see in the bottom of my Chrome, or hopefully you can see. I'm going to pull up the chat again. Chat. Okay. If you've just joined, we're currently looking at the 2 links. Yeah, thanks, Josh. Earl said not having any issues. And again, Luca, it's working. So I don't know what to tell you. But yes, we are going to go over to my terminal. And yeah, I am using Oh My ZSH. You're right. It is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. I can share my theme with you if you want. But I'm going to show you that I'm inside of the Tour of Heroes, which is Josh just pasted the link from the GitHubs. Clone that down. I always have to do this. It's like a ritual. Yep, I'm way ahead. I'm way ahead. You'll get all the goodness later. But as of right now, we're just going to run ng-serve. And if you didn't know, Oh yeah, I should make this like, I can't see your terminal. That's bizarre. Thinking, doing, trying. All right, tell me now. Can you see it now? Maybe? If not, this is going to be interesting. I mean, you don't need to see the terminal, but hopefully you can see. Josh says, I see it. Oh, I think Zoom is being weird. Yeah. She's a special creature, that Zoom. Okay. So yeah, you didn't even hear my whole, oops, I just tried to Command K the chat. So I'm going to run, as you can see here, I'm inside of my Tour of Heroes. I'm going to run ng-serve with HMR prize to the first person in chat who tells me the correct meaning of HMR. What does it stand for? HMR. HMR. It's a new feature for version 11 in Angular. You get a prize. All you have to say, what does HMR stand for? Come on, you can do it. I believe in you all. I know you all love the Angulars as much as I do. Hot module reload. And nay for the prize. Although I think we definitely need to give Mike a prize, because even people on the Angular team think it should be hot module reload. Like that's what it should be. But if you look in the docs, it's hot module replacement. I don't know why. Yeah. See, Nathan's with the reload too, thinking it should be that. And Brandon said replacement. And Joseph. Good job, guys. Okay, so it is replacement. I don't like that it's replacement. I don't condone that it's replacement, but it is. There it is. Hot module replacement is enabled for your dev server. Okay, so while she's doing her thing, we're going to go over to my VS Code. And we don't need all these things open. I apologize. I did not reset my workspace before I just threw you in it. So you get to see all of like literally the million things I have open. Okay, here we go. So welcome to the My Little Pony version of the Tour of Heroes. I hope you all enjoy this. Not all of the code is mine. I cannot take credit for it. First of all, as I mentioned, John Papa started this project, and the Angular docs often refer to it. Anytime you hear Tour of Heroes, or you see a demo and it's mentioning heroes of any sort, that's this project. That's the project that you are cloning down and running npm install on, or maybe you already had it, but you need this version because it has ponies. I was working with one of my fellow advocates doing the webinars that are so freaking awesome. Please get on our mailing list or like follow Kendo UI, because they're one of my favorite parts of this job is getting to do those webinars. But he has this project for React. He calls it Acme Solutions, and it's this fake company that he's made up. But anytime we get a new feature or component, he'll add it to this like app that he has ongoing. And I was so jealous. His name's TJ Vantol. Hey, the host is sharing poll results. Did you figure something out, Josh? I think Josh figured something out, because I don't know if you're seeing it. It's on my screen, so you should be seeing it. Anywho, maybe it timed out. I don't know. Let me know if you're seeing the poll results. I bet it's private to me, so you're probably not seeing it. Anyways, so TJ Vantol has this React app that he continually builds to and adds to, and I freaking loved it. Nathan sees it. Earl sees it. Okay, well, cool. I don't know what to do with it. I mean, doing something creative. I'm absolutely flattered that 31% of you think that of me. I just play video games. I think I use all of my creativity on this stuff, and then I just like have nothing else to give, but that's very sweet of you for saying such a thing. Anywho, back to the story. I do have ADHD, severe ADHD. I got it from my mother. And so, yeah, if you noticed the distraction or the energy, it's from that. But yes, so I was super jealous, and I was deciding to myself that I needed an application. And I thought, everybody in the Angular community knows about the Tour of Heroes, right? Maybe, I don't know. I thought this to myself. And so I cloned it and I made it my own. Let's go ahead and check in on our, compiled successfully. This is the ZSH business that I was talking about with the pink. I don't know if you can tell, but I really like pink. So now we're going to go back to the Chromes and we're going to open up our local host and the gloriousness for you to behold. Okay, one sec. Everyone, avert your eyes as I go open up my pony grid and I hide this H2 because she's not supposed to be there right now. Okay. So this was the application. Sorry about that. I stopped the poll since all answered. Didn't realize it would take over. Okay. Well, that's cool, Josh. We're learning together. I think the next poll that we do, we just stop it whenever we're ready to see the results and then we'll have them and it'll be perfect. I think 10 minutes was way too long of a break though. And you all can tell me differently, like if you need a break or if you want no more breaks, because we have enough content to fill the time. So anywho, here's the app that I created. I think it's gorgeous. There are bugs. I'm not perfect. But there's little things like you hover over the pony cards and the ponies move. You go to the heroes page and I don't know. I really, really, really like, can you raise your hand in the chat with like an emoji of hand raising or I don't know, just gibberish. Just put anything in the chat right now if you've seen the original Tour of Heroes application, because she's not the prettiest thing in the world. I think I had, and it was not pink. Carl's seen it. Yeah. Nathan's seen it with the pondering. I love that. I love that emoji. Okay. It's like, I think my third most used emoji, second to like the heart one or maybe the shrug. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't pink at all. And there's a lot of styles missing. So John Papa added this messaging thing down here where if you go somewhere, do something, fetch anything, it will list it out. So that's what's happening in the messages. I tried to keep a lot of the default functionality the same as the Tour of Heroes application so that when Angular people came and they saw this application and they were looking at it, they saw the familiarity of the default, but then they also saw the beautification that I did. And recently with the DevReach, the Angular relay that I was talking about, this was the application that I had, I think those 9 speakers add something to. I haven't closed all of the PRs, but I closed a lot of them, merged a lot of things. And so things like this, hire a hero, this was not me. This was a friend who did that. And then there's a couple of things like the notifications at the bottom. Also, somebody else who added that to it. So in a very long way, I'm just saying, be kind. It's a very big mashup and she needs some cleanup. If you want to open a PR for that, go ahead. But so anyways, there's just things like drop down that loads all the ponies that you can like search for. Even the loading, like I didn't add the loading, that was a friend. I think that loading needs to be put onto the component itself, not the whole page. But I digress. I shall make things happen. But yes, and then you can add new things. So I'm actually going to add, let's see, Nathan was the last one who said anything. And I love people who talk in the chat. So Nathan Pickard is now going to be a pony. And the default ponies get this purple icon. I want to randomize it so they get one of the random icons that we have, but you can also go into the details page and view. Right now, there's just like an ID and the name that you can edit. But if we go to the dashboard, these are like highlighted heroes. I think that's pretty much the tour of heroes that I wanted to show you. But let's go to our VS Code. And if you're curious how and why it's colored like this, again, John Papa big fan, and also he's a friend. I'm using his Peacock VS Code extension. So you can change your workspaces to have different colors, because I don't know if you've ever had multiple like VS codes open at once. And I mean, this is just special to me, but I will be coding in one and then realize I'm in the wrong project. And I'm like, oh dang. Like, so anyways, it helps keep you organized. I love it. So we have, like I said, those things. We're gonna pull in our theme builder though. Let's see. I want to share this and do that, and then tell me if I need to, like, I'm hoping that just sharing this will make the font a little bit bigger, but let me know if I need to make the font bigger. But we're just going to quickly show. Okay. We're going to quickly show using a theme that we've created. So let's go to, oops, sorry. 1 second, darlings. I downloaded Powder 2. And I am trying to pull that up. Perfect. Much better. Okay. So yes, please, if you want to take part in the challenge that's about to be issued, please download this app and run npm install and get it running, because you will need to submit a screenshot, which, Josh, you said that we cannot submit screenshots. Was that what you said?
Yes, I could not figure out how to send a screenshot through the chat. Unless somebody has an idea, just let us know in the chat.
Okay. We might have to have, like, ooh, I know. I need you to tweet me a screenshot. Super dorky. Tweet at me at Kendo UI at Alyssa Nicoll. I don't know why they have those weird things. Okay. So that's what you're going to do. You'll tweet the screenshot. We'll pull up the Twitters. And actually, I'll have Carl pull up the Twitters and just be watching them and for submissions. And we won't wait for submissions, but basically my favorite theme will win a prize. So, hint, I like pink. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm checking my to-do list, making sure that I have everything. We walked through the theme builder. We've downloaded that. You are hopefully running the Tour of Heroes project now. So there are multiple ways to inject the CSS that the theme builder gives you. And I'm actually going to show you. I know it's annoying that I'm changing the screen share again. I apologize to you. Okay. And we're going to put that over there and make sure that I have chat up. Boo boo. Okay. So if we go to, sorry, I have a theme link that I had my boss create, but I am not finding it. I think I put it in the slides, which is like a great place for something to be, unless of course you're not working in the slides. So yeah, we're going to move that down there. No, let's just quit it. I don't need it. Oh, wait. That's the theme builder link. Herkadurka. I love you all. Forgive me for my derpiness. We want the customizing themes link. There you go. There you go. Have all the links, why don't you? So the customizing theme link should be a really good place for you to go whenever you want to use, whether it's the theme builder or you just want to actually customize the theme like from scratch. And so you can click on like which theme it is that you want to customize and check out all of the different variables that you can override and provide base variables for. Then if you go back to that main page that I linked to, oh, you know what I just realized? It's all going to you privately. There's that, and there's that. Okay, there you go. Sorry, attendees. I love you all. So yes, this is where our docs will outline the build process of the application, how you go ahead and customize a theme, and how you can use like the themes from our theme builder as well. This is, of course, all underneath that styling and themes umbrella. And so what we're doing is customizing an existing theme. And whenever you let me know if you can see this, I think you should be able to. I don't think I can make Finder's text bigger. But this is my downloads folder where I downloaded Powder Blue. And I had already modified that folder. Let's just delete all of it except for the zip. So I downloaded Powder Blue 2 zip. And if we open that up, it gives us a Powder Blue CSS folder. And it also gives us a variables.scss folder. We realize that not everyone has the pleasure and privilege of using Sass. So those customized themes, the little variables, the things that you changed in the theme builder on top of every component that you selected, and those base styles are going to be in this CSS file. That's where you're going to find them. The variables SCSS file is wonderful because this is where if you are using Sass, you can literally just import these, and it's just amazing because let's go ahead and open it up. Where is the VS Code? Thank you, VS Code. She didn't listen. 1 second. We're going to get this and drag it in here. There you go. So yes, it's amazing. It has all these variables to find. So we're going to boo, 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 boo. Make that a little bit bigger. I think it should be bigger. Okay. So yes, now that we are using Sass, so we don't need to include that all, like the powder blue.css. We really just need these variables to get our beautiful powder blue happening. And so we want to go into our, trying to find where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and add it to our assets folder. So in my assets folder here, you should see, can I make it bigger? I can. Yay. I can make it massive. In our assets folder, you should see fonts, images. I have that. This is where those cute little avatars are coming from that I generated and randomly assigned. But then we also have our colors and our fonts. And so this was created by me because I did a lot of special things with the fonts. I don't know if you noticed in the headers. And so I needed a special font file to just go ahead and say this is for the extrude, the outline, and then the base pony. And then I needed a special file for colors that if you'll go to one of the style sheets like styles.scss or root folder, you'll see that I'm importing those and then I'm using those. And so this is where inside of our styles.scss, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I just realized I don't have chat up, so I can't see you if you're yelling at me. Okay, perfect. Now it is up. So this is where we're going to go ahead and import our powder blue theme. But first we need to go ahead and add that to the project itself. So if we go and we take the downloads, where are you? I need to see powder blue. And we're going to just drag this next to my colors, fonts, and variables. We could probably get a little bit more fancy with our organization here in assets. But for now, I'm okay with it. And we need to move this bar. Okay. So now when we go back to our styles, we are literally just going to add this import from source assets powder blue variables. And I think, yes, what I'm doing right now, whenever you use ng-add, I do believe that inside of inside of your Angular JSON, inside of your styles, this is where it's going to go ahead and throw the pointer to the Kendo UI themes and inject them. But I ripped that out happily, and I just put it in my root style sheet right here where I have import, and then I'm importing our default theme. This is where you would say something like dash material or dash bootstrap. But essentially, I'm putting my variables import above my all import. And literally, if we go to, I think I need to share everything again. I share everything. If I go to this, and it's upset because I think I was importing maybe before the file existed, maybe. We'll see. It could be a different thing. We'll see. It's taking our sweet time.